You are about to listen to Only Fools and Collecting, a podcast for those who like a good moan about figure collecting and don't mind naughty words.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 27th episode. We are here, as per always, to come at you with some of the new shenanigans that have been going on in figure collecting. And as per usual, we're brought to you by Waterhouse Scrapyard. If you want anything knocked up, he's your man. Go for it. Talk to him. He's amazing. So it's just me and Pete tonight. It's just me and Pete.
Yep.
Steve stood us up. He's out on the game again, playing his trade.
He said he was working, but we'll leave that to your own interpretation. So what he's actually doing.
We all know what kind of work he does. We know.
Yes. Yeah.
So we might as well jump straight into it. What have you got, Pete? What have you got for new this fortnight?
Yeah. So we've got. I'll start on the right. So I've talked on previous podcasts about the my working on my Mines of Moria, Lord of the Rings display. So I had the base made by Sammy Maxwell, which was fantastic, and then I've been hooked up with Dean Gladwell from Backdrops and Bases, friend of the show, to sort out the backdrop and the sidewalls. So we did quite a lot of work on that, and I sent him a lot of pictures so that he could kind of get the color grading and everything. And I got those a couple of days ago, and they all fitted perfectly. So my measurements were good. So yeah, it's fantastic, to be honest. And where he's got the so obviously the top picture there is in the billy with the lights on, and it's great the way it's picked out the shaft of light, like it's really actually kind of shining through the back there. And then obviously a shot with all the figures from the Fellowship, and I absolutely love it. It's like my favorite shelf now. It's it's definitely delivered on kind of everything that I was hoping to achieve with it. So yes, that's fantastic. So big shout out to Dean. I don't know if he said he was going to try and watch live tonight as Daniel Lee. Good evening. I sent him a link. So so obviously we've talked about that Dean's work before. He does fantastic. You've got quite a few of his pieces, really high quality backdrops. He's got a massive library of stock stuff that you can pick from, or obviously like myself, if you've got something that he hasn't got, then you can just send him images and he can either just print that image, or he can manipulate them and do work himself. So it's it's a treat. It's not doesn't come without a cost, and obviously to do it to all your shelves might be a bit much, but if you've got a kind of really special display that you want to just set off, then hit Dean up, see what we can do for you.
Yeah, his stuff's really good. I've had loads of him.
It
is really, really good. So I've had indie stuff off him back when I had back when I had Detos. I had it all kitted out. They were all kitted out with them.
Because I bought the Emperor Throne Room one off you, so I've got that in my in my booth.
Yeah, I was tempted to get him to do me a bigger one for these, but I'm trying really hard not to limit cubes to certain figures. I want to be able to muddle things up a bit, like within a franchise, because I'm not a fucking heathen, but I want to. So by just having the Death Star one, I was like, that really only means I can have Emperor and probably a couple of others. But like his Death Star corridor ones are really, really good. So I was tempted to get a few more of them.
Because they're
really good.
Quite you can mix and match quite a lot of figures on those.
Pretty much any Star Wars figure looks good with a Death Star background. So,
even if like yourself, you've got mostly Jedi, it doesn't really matter because there is a Death Star in Jedi, and as you say, they're quite a nice kind of generic background. And then on the left, I picked up a Solo.
I really like that.
I think it's a really nice figure. we talked about it before, and we both kind of said, you know, we when it was released that we wouldn't mind picking it up. Yeah, I don't know. It was just I'd been looking at it, and I thought, you know, it looks really nice. And obviously, I've got the Falcon cockpit from Yoast coming at some point, although it's been put back a little bit because of he had a few arrive broken, I think, so he's having to beef up the packaging. So hopefully I'll have that this year. But I thought, well, I've got the A New Hope crew for the cockpit, and I thought, you know what, I could get this guy, and he can be on the flip side, so he can be on the back wall of the cockpit.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Kind of get I get like a double use out, because I'm probably have to have it on the table in the middle of the room, so it's not like I'm not going to see the back. I can see both parts of it. So and I got a good deal. I think I got it for 208. And I sold off. No, and I sold off. And that was the deluxe one. So I sold off all the deluxe, and he worked out about 170. So
not bad.
But it's a really nice figure, and the you know, the quality of the clothing is really nice, and the sculpt's good. And you know, I've mellowed to. I think when it was all first announced, I was like, no, nobody else can play Solo. But I enjoy the film. I like the film, and I think the more I've watched it, the more I enjoy it. And you know, it's just another interpretation of the character. He's not trying to kind of be Harrison Ford or
and I think,
you know,
I think retrospectively now people have now the film's been out for a while. People have kind of jumped off it must be Harrison Ford playing Han Solo bandwagon and actually realised it's not a bad film. And the annoying thing is, though, that the damage is pretty much already done. Like, we're not going to get any more because of everyone threw their toys out their pram, which was a bit shit.
Exactly. And obviously, we're not going to get their stab at Chewie from that movie. So the next hope for that is an Empire one. But really nice figure, and looking forward to kind of adding him to the Falcon display sometime soon.
I'll have to show you some of the scopes that Watto sent me, because in there there's the bird who played Khaleesi. What's her name in this? In Solo.
Yes.
So there's a couple of them in there. Amelia Clark, that's it. There's a couple of them in there, and they look really good.
As the character in this, or as Daenerys?
Yeah. No, has the character from Solo.
All right, cool. Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be good.
Yeah, they're really, really good.
So that would be me at the moment. I've got another couple of bits hopefully coming in late this week, so they'll be on the next show.
Flash bastard.
Another couple of figures. Yeah.
Steve
is as absent. I like this, the fact it's called AWOL, but then it says absent without leave. They've just ignored the O. You know?
Do you know what?
They don't care whether it's they don't care whether it's
That's
official or not. It's just he's fucked off, and
he's
we don't
fucked
know where
off.
he's gone.
So
you know, that's that's Steve.
That's Steve.
And here you are. I had a nice picture of Gene Wilder as Willy Wonka saying, "You get nothing. You lost. Goodbye. Good day, sir."
You can save it for next week.
5 minutes. Yeah, 5 minutes ago, you've gone. Actually, I've got a couple of bits here. So, what have you got?
So Rainer, the lovely man. We were having a conversation a while back about just shit films that are on Netflix and some that look really, really good, and Amazon and all that. And he's told us about this, the Velocipasta. I keep saying pasta. Pasta is
fantastic.
Pasta or whatever it is. And it's a priest who turns into a velociraptor to fight evil. How fucking cool is that, right? It sounds like the trashiest, most bizarre film ever. And he got my hopes up and was like, it should be on Amazon. And he showed me a screen grab of it on Amazon. Yeah, not over, it's not. So I was like, oh, fuck, I'm going to have to pirate it or do something or try and track down a copy. And he was like, no, leave it with me. I go past thrift stores all the time. There's bound to be one in there somewhere. And I was, to be honest, I was a bit like, yeah, all right then, fair enough. Like, I didn't think he'd actually find it. And fuck me, he did. He found it. So he sent it along with your with a bit for you for Han Solo with the old New Hope headset.
Yes. Thank you very much, Rainer. Thanks for that. I appreciate that.
Yeah. he proper came up trumps for us. So yeah, I got that today. So I'm enjoying.
I look forward to.
I might try and watch some tonight. Because in fact, what I do, I watch it. I'll post it to you with the other stuff, so you can watch it as well, and then we can talk about it. Yeah,
definitely. I like a man of the claw.
Yeah, it's just everything about it looks great. Even that the back looks brilliant as well.
There's
just looks
ninjas
really good
in the background.
Exactly. What more do you want? There's priests, prostitutes, ninjas, velociraptors. I mean, what more do you want in a film? Like,
it's going to be great.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. And then, so Manny, sweet Manny, designed me a new logo for Dark Side Customs. So he did us two, one on a white background and one on a dark background. And I thought that's brilliant because I can stick them when I take photos of my stuff. Fantastic. And then I was doing a few bits and pieces for Dean. And normally I'll do a couple of heads and that for him, and he send us a couple of backdrops. And I was like, can you do me a favor? I said, can you put this on a background and double side it? So one side, the other side, which I haven't got pictured, is the white logo, and this side's the black one. And he's made it so it fits exactly, so it fits in the back of my light box. So whenever I take photos of figures I've done or heads or whatever, I can just slot it in the background and it's there. So I was well happy with that. That turned up, and that was it really for me. I've been really good. Like I said, the printer's cleared me out, so I've been downloading files. I've been on Thingiverse and CG Trader, and I'm trying to figure out armor and stuff like that. So that's really been taking up all my time. So I haven't had much time for figures really.
Have you
buying anything?
Do you find some files for the Ark? Have you looked at that yet? Or
I've got files for the Ark. The annoying thing is I need to go onto Blender and split it, because what they've done is on the 3D model, the lid is laying next to it. So I can fit the actual Ark. I'd have to print it in two parts. So I can fit the Ark without the lid on the print plate, not a problem.
Right.
And it should print and it'll be fantastic. But I don't have room for the lid as well. And because it comes as one file, I can't separate them. So I need to get I need to get Blender so I can separate it and then just do it in 2 bits. Once that's
what would happen if you tried to print the whole thing then? Would it?
It just wouldn't print the top bit because there's physically nothing there. Like the printer doesn't exist because on the software, you get like a virtual build plate and you drop everything onto that. So if you put anything outside of it, it just won't print it, because it's kind of like telling your printer to print something 2.5 meters away from your printer. It just won't work because there's nothing there. So I've been looking at lots of files and thinking of, because on stuff like CG Trader and that, people upload their files, you buy them, like the Shaw that I'll show you later that I downloaded. You can hire these people to sculpt you stuff. So I was going to see what I wanted sculpting and seeing if there's, well, the thing is we got Watto. So if Watto can't do it, I can try and find somewhere on there who can. So yeah, I've got lots of options at the moment, and it's kind of like a kid in a sweet shop. Which is quite handy.
Cool. So what would you do for? Would you have it without poles, or would you just try and get some bits of wood?
It didn't come with poles. I would probably I'd probably just put some dowel through and paint it gold.
Well, that should work. They're just plain wood with like a patterned sort of silk part, the bit that sits with it inside of the rings. Like a silk wrap.
So
you could get a piece of wood and then just like maybe just round off the edges. So you wouldn't have to paint them.
That'd
be cool. That'd be interesting. Definitely.
I did buy a file that was cheap for a gonk droid, and it's fucking frustrating. It's just probably about 3 mil bigger than my build plate. So I was like, so you because it was scaled to 1/6 already, and you drop it on and you go, that's too big. That I can't do. But the new generation of printers have bigger build plates and print quicker. So I think
you can't then. Could you not just then say, right, okay, it's 1/6, but I'll print it at 95%, and then it'll print it.
Yeah, but you're still at 95%. You're really close to the edge. Because if you think of your build plate as like having a rectangle with invisible walls that go up, so the gonk droid isn't square. It comes out. So as it goes up, it goes like that, and then they're the points that. So by bringing those points right the way in, you're really reducing the size of the droid, and it just looks weird.
Yeah,
but work. I've got the files. I fully intend to upgrade to a better printer eventually. So I just want to get used to printing with this, and then
bigger prints.
Yeah. Because if most stuff on this takes hours. So it will, the new printers are quicker. They're still going to take hours and hours. But even if I've got my old one running and a new one, it's no aggro, really. Looking forward to that. Cool. And then we have upcoming releases. No, we don't.
Well, we've got new release.
New releases first. The whole 2 of them that we've had so far. So we have Hot Toys Cody, 320 quid. So it's 320 quid at the moment on Toys Wonderland, but Sideshow still have it up for pre-order at 194. So I don't think, me personally, I don't think you're going to get £125 worth of shipping and import fees on that.
No, so, probably 60, 70 quid.
Yeah, so Sideshow's looking pretty good on that. I really like this. I'm probably going to get shot down, but I'm not a massive fan of the head sculpt. I think it looks spot on to the actor now.
Yeah.
But I think when he was in episode 3, he looked younger. Like, I think it's the hair that's throwing it off for me.
But overall, the hairline's too far back.
I think overall, if you don't have the Sideshow one, then this is probably a really good pickup. Having used to own the Sideshow one, and to be fair, the body on the one I had wasn't that bad. If I had the Sideshow one, I probably wouldn't upgrade. To be honest, I'd probably try and pick my head up at some point.
Have you seen any comparison videos or anything?
Yeah, Justin did, I think. Yeah, Justin's Collectibles did, and it looks. I mean, obviously, this is we're looking years apart, so this does look better.
Yeah. I'm sure the paintwork is much better.
And look, what I think Hot Toys have done is they've dusted off the old molds they had for the armor. They've sorted out a new body, a new undersuit, upgraded the paintwork, and because they've made this a specifically an episode 3 Cody, you are not going to be getting a phase 1 bucket. You're not going to get the big long rifles. You're just going to get effectively, the stuff he had in episode 3. So if you could pick the head up and stick it on the Sideshow one and had, because I regret getting rid of Sideshow one, and I was looking for it recently again, and they're still they're about on the ones on eBay at the moment are similar price to this. Really? And I don't understand why. Yeah. In fact, I looked this morning and all the Sideshow Cody were floating around 300 quid. And I was like, why? With this new one coming out.
Bottoms have dropped out of that market. But
it really hasn't.
Unless there's anything specific in that set that people,
So in that one,
that isn't probably, in this. But
probably to be fair, Sideshow back in the day gave you multiple sets of feet. They gave you way more hands than you got with this. You got the phase 1 helmet. You got you got way more blasters and stuff. I mean, here you go. Elson phase 1 helmet. Yeah. People want that. Yeah, I mean, the thing is though, like going back to 3D printing, is there's plenty of phase 1 buckets available online to download. So you could just scale one of those down, just get someone to paint it. It's probably going to be a cheaper alternative than trying to hunt down the Sideshow one. But I mean, like Dean's got a good idea because he's got this Cody on pre-order with Sideshow, and he's got the old Sideshow version. So he's got the best of both worlds. He can just pose up phase 1 and then have phase 2 as well. If I had some cash, I would pick this up.
Explain the phases to me. What's the difference? Just that they added the armor at some point.
Effectively, phase 1 is pretty much episode 2, and then they got they got kind of, I don't know if it was halfway through Clone Wars or the first few seasons, they were all Phase 1 helmets. Then all of a sudden they then switched to Phase 2, which is the more modern looking.
Or Stormtrooper.
Yeah. So, and it kind of worked its way like that. But yeah, if I had the cash, I would probably pick this up, to be fair.
Yeah.
I do like it. It just looks good. Really good. Like, I like the head sculpt. It just looks a bit too old.
Yeah.
And then we had the Hot Toys Spider-Man Iron Spider. Now, this is the game version, and again, this is 260 quid on Toys Wonderland, or Sideshow have it up for 200 quid. So again, I think they're probably
on that.
I think so. By the time you paid import and shipping, but then again, if you've got a load of Sideshow codes, you could probably knock that down a bit. Hello, good day, mates.
Good day.
Yeah,
he's very shiny. This Spider-Man,
super shiny. Like, to be honest, I've got nothing good or bad to say about this.
I think that's probably the thing on the spider looks more like an insect, a flying insect than a spider. Yeah, it does. Yeah, odd, isn't it?
Will you cover Sideshow Con? If I'm honest, I haven't bothered putting a lot of that stuff on the show sheet because I was that disappointed. It was all stuff we've seen before and spoke about before.
You have we? There's been a lot of chat about the best spin Luke, that it looks shit.
I mean, to be fair, I don't mind the outfit. That doesn't bother me, but they're getting their mileage out of that sculpt, and it wasn't a great sculpt in the first place. So
I think so there's not really much to cover, I think.
No, and then other than that, they showed. So we had a bit more of a close look at Lando. Obviously today we'll talk about it in a bit, but we've got the Death Watch, and then everything else is all stuff we've seen before. There was no
And interestingly, they've got the Clone Wars Obi-Wan there, and he's still not got out for pre-order, has he?
No, still not bothered putting it up. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if we get piece the only decent thing about the Bespin Luke. Yeah, I agree with that. I'll agree with that. I mean, if you had a DX Luke, you're probably not going to bother jumping to upgrade that anyway.
No,
like there's just no point. But anyway, we digress.
Spider-Man. You need an Inigo sculpt if you want the best spin Luke anyway.
To be fair, I think he's the only person that's actually managed to sculpt a Mark Hamill properly. Everyone else has just missed the mark, and by quite some way. The Sideshow ones aren't great. The Hot Toys one, not great at all. I think, and even some of the custom ones, there's only really Inigo that just managed to nail it.
I agree. Yeah.
So that probably shows how little we think of this guy that we've spent 2 seconds talking about him. I mean, it's all right. If
any chance of going off on a tangent, we're like, yep,
we'll do that. Show sheet, fuck it, not interested. Let's talk about something else. I mean,
you played the game.
I mean, this is all right. I haven't got an issue with it. It's if you're into Marvel, the problem is I'm not into Marvel that much. I've got a few Marvel figures. The suit looks nice. I've really got nothing good or bad to say about it. To be fair, it is what it is.
Kind of that law of diminishing returns, because it's the new Iron Man for Hot Toys. You know, when we start getting the party protocol, you know, a lot of those you don't even see on screen for seconds, and obviously the more and more they churn out, the less and less they're going to be the main. And you're going to be like, well, you know, if you really loved that version in the game, then you might go for it. But it's I think we're going to see some more oddities. You know, I
mean, I've said it before with the Spider-Man game. If you're big into Spider-Man comics, then this is probably the best thing that could happen in 1/6 for you, because they are hitting a lot of the comic favourites, which is great. which is fantastic because it's a way for Hot Toys to do a few more kind of comic-based stuff without actually having to go into comic-based stuff.
They're quite faithful to the comic versions.
Most are, to be fair. Most are pretty good. To be fair, I hadn't read the comics with this one in it, to be fair. But I've seen pictures of it, and it looks pretty good. So if you're into that kind of thing, all the power to you. But it's not a rabbit hole I want to go down.
No,
because it will just get too expensive too quickly. And then upcoming. So we had quite a bit. Quite a lot was being shown for upcoming. So this was a little bit random, which I thought we might as well throw in because it is a little bit strange. So TB League have done a Horus from
Horus
Egyptian,
like the guy next door. Yeah,
it does. Horus.
Yeah.
The sluttiest Pokemon, Horus. So TB League or Python, as the rest of the world knows him, occasionally do odd, strange little figures. And they've done this, and I actually think it looks really good.
Does it good? And obviously they've worked out how to dye their body.
Yeah, I mean, I never understand why they don't just offer a range of bodies that are different colours, because they would sell if you went red, blue, black, they would sell. People would take them. They snap their hand off for them.
For very little effort on their part. They would sell quite a lot.
Yeah. But this is different enough that I don't know what I'd actually put him with, but he looks really cool.
Because they already do
getting a set.
Oh right. Did they I think they'd already done Anubis, hadn't they? The jackal-headed one.
Yes. Sure they have. Yeah.
Around. Yeah. So they'll go with him if. They do look cool. I mean, they're out there, but
this was exactly my first thought when I saw it, and I was like, because if they did Stargate figures, I would be I used to love that program. That would be cool. Oh, in fact, it's giving me ideas now.
No, I like it. I think it's something really different, and it looks good.
Yeah, and it's 195 quid, and it's out Q1 2021. So not a long wait. And I suppose when you think about how much Python bodies and stuff go for, actually, it's probably not a bad price. If that's shipped, if you got shipping and stuff on top of that, then it could get a bit pricey. But I quite like that. Something a little bit different to start us off. And then this is something that Steve showed us that I really like, because I've actually managed to catch up with the boys now. And it's me too. I want this. So Elven are doing a Billy Butcher sculpt. They previewed it in the week on their Facebook page. They showed an unpainted and then a painted towards the end of the week. And I'm liking it, and I really want to do one now, because it would be a relatively easy kit bash. Because he doesn't wear anything particularly special.
Pair of jeans and a leather jacket, long leather jacket. Yeah. So I like that. I'm hoping they're going to start doing more. Has somebody got a license for the boys? I thought I saw something for figures, but I don't know what scale or anything.
I'm not sure. I don't know. No. Yeah, I don't know about that one. But
so you enjoying the show? You enjoying the show?
Loving it. Really enjoying it. Yeah. So for some reason, the reason why I think I didn't get too into it was because generally I hate Amazon's layout. It's bullshit. I hate it because no matter what I'm watching, it never sticks like what I watched last at the top of the page or anything like that. It goes, you've watched about 5 episodes of this, you must like that, so I'm going to bury the fucker. And it just hides it in amongst everything else. And it goes, you like The Boys, do you? How about Gardener's Question Time? Do you like that? And you think, oh, for fuck's sake, no, of course I don't fucking like that. So it's like, fuck off. So that's why a lot of the stuff that's on Amazon that is really good, I kind of just stop watching, because the whole UI is just drives me batshit crazy. Whereas Netflix, you go on, it makes sense. It goes, you were just watching something, were you? Here's the rest of it.
Yeah.
Not like Amazon.
Put it right at the top to the left. And the first thing you see. Yeah.
Or the other thing they do, you got me on a rant now. The other thing they do that really pisses me off is, say you're watching say South Park, right? So I started watching South Park and I noticed that they had the earlier seasons on Amazon. So they've got seasons like 1 to like 13 or something. So you start watching them and you get about 5 series in. Then it goes, I know, you've been watching South Park. So you want to carry on where you left off? No, that ain't fucking happening. Here, have series 13. No, I don't want series 13. I was watching series 5. Can I just carry on watching that? They go, no. Here's series 9. Like, why separate the whole thing as a different fucking... No, I've got Siri going off now. Why separate a whole series of something into actual individual seasons? Just bung it together like everything else does. Yeah, like it just drives me mental. But yeah,
Edward says there's NECA. NECA have got a 1/10 license for the boys.
Oh, I mean, there's not much NECA doesn't have lately.
No,
they seem to have pretty much everything. But yeah, I think that would be pretty cool. I might have to pick a few of them.
I'd like to buy a Homelander one and just set him on fire because he's such a massive
bastard, isn't he? He is, but he's brilliant. He's absolutely just when he lays with people.
He's just vile, though, isn't he? He's just like, yeah,
definitely, yeah. But yeah, Elven, if they carry on 6 scale the boys stuff, I'll be all over it.
Yeah,
I really will. Then we had the King of Kalasar, which is the Dothraki king.
Khal
Drogo. So this will set you back £110, and it's out Q1 2021. Insanely cheap. And a pretty good looking figure, to be fair.
Yeah.
I like that. Just as per usual.
Yeah, it's not bad.
I'm just done with Lord of the Rings. Not Lord of the fucking Rings.
I thought you were just making a joke there. Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. It's all fucking elves and dipshits running around with swords, isn't it? But yeah,
it is Momoa. Jason Momoa.
It is. Yep.
Aquaman. Yep.
But I like this, and it's seamless as well, isn't it? It's not jointed.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if they're who's putting this one out again. Sorry.
I'm not sure. I don't. Something in the corner. I can't. Like I didn't put it on. I didn't put it on the slide, did I? On the
you should see what body it is. Whether it's a third party one or whether they're making their own.
Yeah, it would be.
It's not particularly massive. I don't know if it's maybe a little bit small for the character, but it does look good.
I mean, it's hard because they haven't put anything next to it. So it's hard to tell. Yeah, it's hard to tell. Actually, is he beefy enough? Is he big enough, or is he
buff enough? Yeah, because he was pretty big in that, wasn't he?
I mean, you wouldn't want to knock his pint over. He's a big fucker.
Yeah. I'm with you there. I think there's been some nice Game of Thrones figures from various companies and third party and unlicensed, but I think it just dropped such a massive big shit in our mouths that final season that it just it's difficult to get that out of your head.
It's the same. It's the same with most things most figures that are based on TV series. If you think about the real big TV series of like the last 5 years, you got The Walking Dead. So if we rewound to about 2 years ago, you couldn't move for Walking Dead figures, and people loved them, and they were going for a decent amount.
Yeah.
Now they're bargain bin. People aren't really that interested.
Yeah.
Same with Game of Thrones.
Because they've put 2 more years in, and fuck all's happened.
Yeah.
And this still, as far as I know, is not going to be the final season. And it's like, I was chatting to my mate with it last night, and we just want it to end. We've been watching this for 10 years. I don't think I've watched anything apart from like something like The Simpsons. I don't think I've watched anything else that's now in its 10th season, and possibly more. And I just want to finish it because I've put all that time in. but I don't want any more. I just want it to end.
Yeah, and when you think about it, like it's the first few seasons were very much we found somewhere. Big bastards turned up, and now we're out again, and now we're back, and now we're out, and now we're back. It was all very much the same kind of thing. I mean, the thing is, all these other TV series they're doing as well, like Fear the Walking Dead and this new one, whatever it is, Children of the Walking Dead or whoever they are, teeny fun time Walking Dead. I'm just so past the point of giving the tiniest of shits about the Walking Dead now that I
think zombies have had their day. I mean, when Walking Dead came out, they kind of like the market just got flooded with like everybody was doing zombie stuff, and I think it's a bit boring now, isn't it?
Yeah, Elderson stopped after Series 7. I pretty much stopped as soon as Rick fucked off. After that, I wasn't interested in the slightest. I mean, I've still got they're all sitting on the planet ready for me to watch. They're still sitting where I recorded them when they were on telly. I just haven't. No interest.
Oh, wow. The first couple of seasons were good, but I'm not sure if it's like the end of. It's not a spoiler; it's been that a while, but kind of at the end of the second or third series, they find this laboratory they've been looking for. They find this scientist, and he basically says, "Well, we're not actually ever going to find out where this has come from, or like." And you're just like, "Oh, great!" So basically, you're telling me that they're never going to explain what's happened and where it's come from, and you think, "I might as well give up now."
Because I don't think they ever did in the comics either.
No,
because I know
so it's not building to it. You think, what is it building towards? Is it just going to build to when all the original characters are dead and that's the end? I don't.
I can't see any payoff. And the thing is, everyone's been super patient with it, and it's like, I don't think you're going to get what you want.
Yeah, because they just aired the season finale last week, so I'm gonna watch that because that got delayed from April because they couldn't film it. So I'm gonna watch that. Around my mates next week, and then I think there's another 6 for this season, and then I don't know. They just need to end it.
It just needs to stop.
Go out. Yeah, definitely.
And then Hot Toys also showed this off, which is the Hot Toys Doc Ock suit Spider-Man, 230 quid at January to March 2022. What do you think?
Nah.
No?
How many figures are we up? It looks all right, but as I say, I've got no connections to the game. I didn't play the game. And I get that it's going to have a bit of a resurrection because obviously there's a remastered version coming for PS5, which we'll touch on later. Yeah. So I suppose these figures will become relevant to a new audience potentially. No, it looks all right. I mean, the color scheme's cool. Is it a good suit? What does it do?
You get it at the very end of the game. It's made out of the same material as Doc Ock's arms. So you get it right at the end of the game when you fight him at the very end of the game. I quite like the suit, to be fair. Mm-hmm. Not a lot of people do, but I quite like it. And looking at it, I think if you were to paint that yellow white, you'd have a pretty good, like a pretty good black suited Spider-Man. To be fair,
yeah.
But like I mean, I quite like this. I quite liked it in the game. I thought it was pretty good. But again, it's more Marvel and it's stuff I don't want to jump down. But
how much is this?
This is, did I say 230 quid? So it's not we've had more expensive figures. But again, the thing is, no, it really comes with best part of fuck all, to be fair.
Yeah.
And again, this suit looks like that kind of rubberized material that's going to crease and not hold up too well to being posed.
Yeah.
But then I have that problem with every Spider-Man, though. So
yeah, there has been, and if you put them in the dynamic stand, if it pinches the suit, it's always going to be the way. And obviously, we don't know long term how long these things will hold up either.
No.
I think in this country we were all right because we don't have massively high temperatures or humidity. But obviously, I know that in sort of Malaysia and places like that, they have problems with deterioration quite quickly with some of these figures.
Yeah, some of them just fall apart.
So it is always a concern, and obviously, if you've got figures where they're more that real sort of material cloth, that they're going to kind of stand the test of time.
Yeah,
but yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's not offensive. I mean, if I had the money for everything, I'd pick it up, but I don't, so I won't.
I'm very interested to hear your views on this one.
Yeah, so Clone Wars Darth Maul has been announced. This will cost you £240 at Q1 to Q2 2022. When I first saw it, I really liked it a lot. The more I look at it, there's more bits I kind of see, and I'm a little bit. Don't get me wrong. I think it's good. I do think it's good. I think I want to know what the coffin's made of.
Yeah, I don't understand the coffin. What?
So in the Clone Wars, when he gets captured in Series 7, the Mandalorians have an old, it's like a containment unit that they used to hold Force users with. It's like an antique at the time, so they plonk him in that. And it's a really cool scene. They're taking him to the transport, and he's in there. It's a bit like Hannibal Lecter being wheeled through. So I think that's a really good inclusion, as long as it's not a piece of shitty cardboard. If it's
I was going to say, I was wondering how they're going to package that. Whether it's going to be a snap together kind of cardboard job, because otherwise it's going to take up quite a lot of box space, isn't it? Unless he's packaged inside it. But...
Well, to be fair, I think what you'll end up having is a box very similar to like Empire Vader, where the clamshell fits inside another clamshell that's then got that in a section. It'd just be a slightly bigger box. It's an actual box. What, like a cardboard box or a box? But yeah, like I think I'm not a fan of the sculpt. I think
so. Is it a different sculpt?
Yes. I'm not sure if it's different to the DX. I'm not sure if it's the same sculpt as that they're going to use on the Solo version more. It's a bit hard to tell.
No, it doesn't look like it. It looks younger. I think the Solo one does look old, like the actor looks now. So
yeah, so age wise, I think it looks about right. I like the way they've done the markings on the chest and the arms. The only the figure comes in the sarcophagus. Oh, fair enough. Oh, instead of an art box.
Must be. Yeah,
that sucks.
So it's going to be cardboard.
Yeah. So, our friend Watto's 3D printed an actual one, which would be pretty cool then. So look, I like the legs on this. Generally, I think it's a pretty good figure. But there's just something about it that I'm just a bit like, just a bit disappointed. And I don't know why, because like I say, the legs are cool, body looks cool. It does everything it says on the tin. I mean, I'd probably swap the head out for an actual animated one, just because to me that's Clone Wars Maul, and that's the Clone Wars. Or at least I'd have an alternative one. But I don't know why I haven't pre-ordered it yet, because I do like it, but there's just something off, and I don't know what.
Maybe it's one to just wait and see, and shouldn't be too difficult to pick up when it releases.
I mean, they're going to be mining Clone Wars, so it would be good if they moved into Rebels as well, and we got a slightly older Rebels version. But look, I think my problem is everything on this figure, right? I could get now. So I know this is a company on eBay that 3D prints the legs that you fit onto a normal figure. Okay. They do the belt, they do the gauntlets. So it's a case of really just finding someone to do the clothing. which I don't think would be that hard. So for me, it's like, well, and this is just me personally, like I could probably knock one of these up and be quite happy with whatever version I decide to knock up. But I think because how far out these toys are getting and the general price of them, I mean, what we're talking 240 and it's we're looking 2 years. That's mad to me, because particularly the way the world is at the moment, we don't know what's going on in 2 years' time.
No, it suddenly seems a very long way off, doesn't it? 2 years from what's happened this year.
And it's and it's really putting me off pre-ordering anything, because just 2 years is such a long way away. I don't even know. I mean, it might get 2 years away, and I might be like, do you know what? I don't want any Clone Wars stuff. It's just.
Well, you've got that, and you've also got the fact is, will these people still be doing this in 2 years? How is the market going to be kind of dramatically, changed in some way? It doesn't look like at the moment, because there's a lot of new stuff being released, but it's all very much up in the air. And I think it makes you value more things that you can buy today and have in your hand, and it's a physical thing rather than just this promise that you'll have this figure in 2 years kind of thing. And I think that's what's kind of putting me off, because on paper it's a really good figure. I get why he looks as skinny as he does. Like, I understand that because I've watched Clone Wars, so I know that. But I think I agree with Elderson. Yeah, I think out of this and the Solo movie one, I think I prefer the Solo movie one. He just looks a bit more. When's that coming out?
It should be soon, but it's probably been pushed back because of COVID.
It's a long way behind, the Solo figures and the Mud Trooper and the.
Well, it was announced about the same time as Qui-Gon, if I remember rightly. So we should get it fairly soon.
So it should be fairly soon. Yeah.
I just think it looks. We've got. I was just going to say, to me, it looks like it's got more presence. It just looks more badass than this. I think as well, like, because I'm so used to how things look, the animated versions, the live action versions that aren't based particularly on anyone or anything, just aren't quite floating my boat.
No, we've all said that about all of them so far. They're a bit weird that they've kind of gone with this is a representation of an animated character as if it was played by the actor that played him or her in the live action film.
So I've got Sean. Sean's just sent me a load of scopes to do, and in there's the animated versions of Rex. There's animated versions of Darth Maul. There's a Series 7 Ahsoka, and they're the ones that I'm gonna be looking at putting on stuff like this, because to me that's just what it was. Yeah,
you've got some Obi-Wans in there as well, haven't you? They look good.
Yeah, these Obi-Wans are fantastic. So I've got Obi-Wan, Anakin, and then I've got a Rebels Obi-Wan. They're fantastic. I mean, I've got a load of commissions to get out of the way before I start on those. But I'm really looking forward to those. They're really, really good.
They look good. We'll touch on those a bit later.
We've
got Dean chat now from
good lad.
Bases.
Good lad.
Good of you to join us, sir.
Yep.
I've got a Nat here. I'm going to have to try and take care of him.
You're being attacked like a presidential candidate.
Yeah.
And then we had the Coruscant Guard.
I haven't seen that. I need to watch that.
Apparently, a fly is just jabbing him in the eye for straight 20 minutes, which is quite funny.
Yeah.
So the Coruscant Guard, £217 Q4 2021 to Q1 2022. I would say anyone who wants a clone trooper, just pick this up, because it's gonna. It's not going to be 217 quid when it comes out. It's going to be a lot more than that. These guards are really, really good. I like them. This is nice. I want this. But again, it's just too far out. I mean, look, if I can figure out how to print armor, I'll be like a pig in shit. I'll every type of bloody trooper going.
Any colour going, do your own.
Yeah,
doing Christmas ones like the Black
yeah,
Series ones.
exactly. Yeah, I'll have everything. But in the time being, I'm stuck buying off the shelf. So yeah, but I want this. This looks good. It looks good. And if they did a fox to go with it, Rainer.
Hi, Rainer.
Top man. Top man. It's like everyone we've shouted out has just magically appeared.
Yep.
Great.
Yeah, they've heard it. They've heard a lot. Their ears have been burning.
Yeah. So what do you think of this?
It's good. The only thing I don't like is those, I don't know, is it flame or kind of electricity effects on the end of the staff? I think they look a bit naff.
I'm not really a fan of effects, to be fair.
No, I don't think any of them are particularly look very good, do they? No. And I certainly don't use any on any of my figures or anything. I've never used any, like when I had the Iron Man, I've never had the jets on, or I've not used the lightning for the Emperor and stuff like that, because I just don't think it doesn't look realistic enough to warrant.
They're weird because you take them off the figure and you look at them not on the figure, and you look at them and go, actually, that's not a bad little effect. But as soon as you put it on the figure, it just looks cheap. Like it just doesn't.
Yeah.
It just doesn't look great. But yeah, so they're always accessories I never use.
Yeah. But so that's more like a phase 1 kind of helmet, I assume.
No, that's all phase 2.
No, is it? Okay, because the visor looks a bit more like a what I could think of the phase 1s. Okay.
No, it's phase 2 because these so you see these a lot. It's in series 6, I think it is, where Ahsoka's getting framed. Effectively, they're quite heavy in that because a lot of that is based in Coruscant. But I really like this. I think we're going to see a lot more troopers, because they'd be stupid not to. When you look at the aftermarket price of the sideshow ones, Hot Toys would be mad, absolutely mad not to. Yeah. I mean, it shows how good the old sideshow ones were when the prices of them now are still consistently around what a brand new Hot Toys clone will cost you.
Yeah.
So so I'm looking forward to seeing what other clones we get.
What's the little orb thing is in the bottom right? What's that? It's like there's a sphere, and then there's a half sphere as well. Is it like that?
No, won't let me zoom in. Oh, there we go. That looks like a grenade.
Not sure. Yeah, I was wondering if it's like a thermal detonator kind of thing, but
yeah, it's good though. I'm liking that a lot.
Yeah.
And then now this, I don't know why I like this so much, but Sideshow showed their Ghostface figure that they previewed it ages ago, and then nothing really happened. So this will cost you 168 quid, and it's at February 2021 to April 2021. For 168 quid, obviously you've got import tax and shipping on that, but I quite like that. Scream was a really good. Yeah, I think Scream was a fantastic film. Like, it's proper my generation's type thing. But yeah,
I think it looks good, but what the question I'd ask you is, I think if you could find a file for that face, it's a very easy and cheap custom to put together.
Yeah, big time. Big time. I think the only thing struggle, I think you would struggle getting the clothing. I don't know where you would get that.
No. So it's just kind of like, how does it? Is it an over the head with a hood, or is it?
Yeah, it's like a giant hooded robe. So, I don't think of it like a black Jedi robe done up. Effectively, it's kind of like that, but it's one piece. So that's the only bit that would be a problem.
Yeah.
Like,
but it's a very simple figure. Yeah, I think the boys were talking about it on CW, and they were talking about why they went with this one as the kind of first of the new horror ones instead of a Leatherface or Michael Myers.
I think they hit the nail on the head with, if you think about Trick or Treat releasing Michael Myers, they probably have, because of licensing, they probably can't release it at the same time.
Yeah.
And I think with Leatherface, although it's quite iconic, I think the target audience they're going for is probably a bit younger. And and I don't. To me, like, I remember growing up, the Scream films, and that kind of slasher film was very much the horror films of its time. It wasn't, the Halloweens, Jason, Freddy Krueger, all of that were kind of like the 80s kind of generation before. But this was probably, if you grew up, if you were more kind of 90s, if you were kind of in secondary school in the 90s, this is what you were watching. Things like this, things like this. I know we did last summer. All that kind of stuff was very much the thing, and I think they are good films. They get, but like most horror films, they kind of go downhill after a while. But So I
remember the first one. I don't remember too much about the others. How many have they had? 4?
I think it's 5.
And they're making a new one, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah, they're making another. There was a TV series as well, but I can't remember. I haven't seen the TV series. It's on Netflix at the moment, I think.
Yeah, but I think, like, to me, it's a bit like Nightmare on Elm Street, in the first one is quite a as a standalone, it's really good. Yeah, it's really clever. It's new. It's fresh. And then, as you say, it's a diminishing returns. I think they ramp up the humor, and it becomes more of a parody of itself. But still,
which is
entertaining, I think, in their own way.
Yeah, true. I mean, it's strange though, because you had Scary Movie that quite heavily was quite a heavily piss take of Scream. It almost became. It almost just as they went on, they ended up becoming more and more similar to the thing that was taking the piss out of them.
Yeah, I think they do. I think that's a natural progression, and you got the same with Friday the 13th. You ended up with Freddy versus Jason, which was just they'd done it in computer games and things like that, and then eventually they went, let's just make a film of it, So
and it didn't quite work. But I'd be interested if they. No. I think there's a big gap at the moment for horror figures because you just don't see them, and if you do, they're stupidly expensive, or they're customs. I mean, you look at the Evil Dead stuff. That you try and get an Evil Dead Ash, it will cost you an absolute fucking fortune. And then I saw some absolute knob jockey on eBay, and then there was a couple of people on the groups as well that have started selling the Evil Dead 3 Ash by Sideshow. Now that's a £50 figure all day long. You got pricks selling it for 150, and I'm like, no, fuck off. And I even saw someone selling the Sideshow Indiana Jones, not the Temple of Doom, the Raiders one. Which we used to pick those up 10 a penny, 150 again, and I was like, that's an 80, 90 pound figure tops.
Are you referring to a very well-known UK reseller was charging that for one?
Was he? I didn't know. I just saw us flashing through the groups and saw one.
It was.
And then when I looked on eBay as well, there was loads on for about that, and I was like, I don't understand. The old 10-year-old Sideshow figures are just silly money, and
you see it with the Star Wars ones, don't you? People trying to charge 150, 200 quid for some of the old Sideshow Star Wars figures.
And
the thing is, and if you think, like, when we were buying those Sideshow indies, there was quite a lot of stuff you could use for fodder. But obviously, as time's gone on, actually, if you bought that figure, what would you use? Probably the jacket.
Maybe the shirt. Boots, possibly. Yeah, boots weren't too bad, but you need to repaint them.
All of the accessories and stuff are just shit, and so obviously as time goes on, those go-to things that were cheap and cheerful and you could make most of a figure up, now you'd be like, well, actually, I don't like that and I don't like that, so I'd still have to buy. So it ends up becoming quite expensive. Like I used to buy up the DX 05s and split them out.
Yeah,
and they're ridiculous now. You want 500 quid for
Yeah.
that, and even when they've got all the pleather stuff's all cracked and falling apart,
it's a bitch.
they're still charging.
Yeah.
And I don't know why there's such an interest in that. I mean, people obviously, if people don't realise there's this whole custom market out there, and that actually for 500 quid you could make a bloody fantastic indie.
Yeah, I mean, if you go on eBay at the moment for 250 quid, there's a custom indie where they've got the Inigo scopes, and I think they've used a mixture of like Hot Toys and other bits and pieces. But I'd buy that all day long over an official DX.
Yeah, definitely.
Or even the Sideshow version. Unless you can get hold of the Templar Doom one by Sideshow, I wouldn't bother. It's just not worth.
No, even then
needs a head swap
and a hat. He's got the Pharrell hat, hasn't he?
Yeah, but to me, the hat's not so important with the Templar Doom one. No, because he doesn't have it for quite a big chunk of the film in the middle. So you could get away. Get away without the hat.
That sculpt actually isn't bad, is it? Because you painted a recast, which is the one that we gifted to
it's not,
Zach.
It's not
but I think the problem with the actual one was the seam on the head with the hairpiece. The seam was awful. So that needed work. But the one you did was obviously a single piece, wasn't it? So it.
No, well, what I did, it was it was.
You filled it.
So I had a custom indie. So I, with a hat that was all one piece, it was all just attached. So I cut the hat off of that, cut the top of the hairpiece away on the other one, and then just glued it on. Because with the Sideshow on, the way that the height they have their hat on, as well as it being like jumbo sized, doesn't help matters. It needed to be lower because if you think where the top, if you look at the Indigos and stuff like that, you got top of the ear, then the hat's just a little bit above it. With those fucking giant Pharrell things, it was almost like it was perched on the very top of his head. I just had to fucking cut that off. But the price of the prices people are after for some of the really old Sideshow stuff is just mental. Even like the Yavin Luke, like people want. There's one on at the moment for 50 quid, which I want to message the bloke and go, I'll give you 50 quid, just keep the figure because you've actually priced that honestly. You're not trying to rip
exactly.
off.
Yeah, well done. Yeah, and I mean, I've had that figure, and there's not really anything that you'd want off that. These days, I don't think
the trousers probably, because they're more accurate for a Besbian hand and a Return of the Jedi hand because they've got the piping down the front.
Correct. Yeah.
But because it being Sideshow, they've got the giant belt loops and stuff like that, which is just pain in the arse.
Yeah, it's difficult to disguise that kind of stuff. Yeah.
So
we've digressed very well.
We have a bit. We have, and this I'm super excited for. So Toys have they put up a little teaser post of their Nightwing that they're working on. This is an instant pickup for me. And I really like Nightwing, and this suit looks fantastic, really good. So I'm up for that. They didn't give you any details though as to when it was out or the sculpt or anything like that, but. Yeah, I like this. It looks like armor pieces over a cloth suit, so it doesn't look like I have to worry too much about it being damaged.
What are they basing this on? As a
so I think they're going to be basing it off of the Teen Titans suit that you has at the end of Series 2. But this, to be fair, could fit in with most Batman stuff. Very similar to the Arkham style as well, so you could get a fair bit out of this. So I'm looking forward to that one eventually.
As the Robin.
I hope not. I hope they improve it a little bit, but it wouldn't surprise me if you did get the same sculpt, to be honest. But again, I could, if I'm going for more of a generic looking, what did I just call him? I can't remember his name now. If I was going for more of a generic look, I'd just get any old sculpts that look similar. Nightwing.
Yeah. I mean, we said that with the Robin, didn't we? You could put, you could go with anything really, as long as you don't not about having the mask on, the eye mask.
Well, even then, there's plenty you can do there. Just sculpt one on, or get someone to knock one up. Yeah. So I like that a lot. And then then you want to talk about these.
It's quite nice. I just I mean, we don't really talk about cos babies, and I've never really been a fan. I don't know. I just thought these were quite cool. I've got no idea how much they are. I think they probably go for 30, 40 quid, and they're kind of bobbleheads, cos babies. But it's interesting because obviously this was a comic run, wasn't it? The zombies.
The Marvel zombie comics. Which,
and they talked about, wasn't there going to be a TV show? They were talking about an animated TV show at one point.
Yeah, so I think Disney have still got to release it, but they were doing like a what if series. So you had stuff like like what if Captain America was a potato, for argument's sake. And then they had and I think one of the episodes they teased was like a Marvel zombie. Was it Deadpool or someone was there? Yeah, it was such a long time ago. I can't really remember, but they definitely teased it as part of that run. Yeah, that they were going to.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't buy any of these, but I just thought they were quite cool. Having not really been a fan of the cos babies and stuff, but these are quite. I like the Hulk. He looks cool.
I think
kind of like he's throwing up green bile and then treading in it.
I think it was Numo Workshop that did a load of Marvel zombie sculpts. Yeah, they were pretty cool.
Yeah, because you were going to pick some up, I think, at one point, weren't you? You were going to do.
I was tempted to stuff. Yeah, I was tempted to pick up a cheap Spider-Man back when you could pick up Spider-Man cheap and do the Spider-Man one because the mask was pretty cool. Yeah, but I never got around to it in the end, and then the cost of the shittest of all Spider-Man just cost way too much to bother with it. Yeah, but they look all right if that floats your boat. And then this, I think so. Who was it you said in the comments? Blue Bobber, I think was the best comment I've seen so far. So we've got the Death Watch Mandalorian. This will set you back 240 quid out Q4 2021 to Q1 2022. I really, really like this.
It's nice, isn't it? I think kind of like a matte finish on it.
Yeah, I think hit it with some weathering powder and it'll be fantastic. I really, really like this. I'm very, very tempted to pre-order it. But looking at it, I'm looking at it thinking, okay, so this is an easy win for Hot Toys. Don't quite understand why it would take so long to come out, because the only things now, from what I can see, the only things here that they haven't made before are the backpack, which is slightly different, and the guns. Everything else on that figure, if I'm right, is all stuff they've done before. Base, done that before. Hands, they've done that before. The armor plating, they've done that before.
That's the mileage out of that base, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's Bobber's helmet. It's the same Mandalorian gauntlets. Shoulder pads are pretty similar. I think they're pretty much I think so. The shoulder pads might be new things. Yeah, so
they might be slightly.
I just don't. So my only gripe is the time it's taking to come out. The figure looks great. I want it. It looks fantastic. I just don't know why it has to take so long to come out.
No.
Edson thinks the Armourer's next, and Sean wants it as well. Yeah, me too. The thing is, it wouldn't surprise me if we get another couple of Death Watch, because there were a few other Death Watch guys rock up in the first series. And there's people already saying that we're going to get the different droids, the different battle droids, which would be pretty cool. But but again, it's because we've seen like a leg, or we've seen an arm, or we've seen the back of one, and we all know Hot Toys have got form for having things in shot that, I mean, to be fair, they could have either computer generated it and stuck it in, or they picked up an old Hasbro one and shoved it in front of it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I've seen all this stuff.
Previously on it.
What does that mean?
In terms of future Hot Toys, yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. I've seen all this stuff. I really want a Mando figure, and everyone's been getting theirs in, and it looks really cool. And I think I prefer the original look to the Beskar armor one.
Yeah, I don't know. Everyone says that now, but as soon as the Beskar comes out, we see a lot of the original ones hit the groups. That's what I'm kind of holding out for.
That's what I'm hoping for. I'll pick one up if people start dropping them because they've got the other one. Then I'll pick one up because I just think I like the colours better. I think I like the more contrast in the colour of the armor pieces, and it all being that same.
It has a bit more character about it.
Yeah.
A bit more dirty and grungy.
That's a good point. I need to wait till the new one comes out and people start getting rid of the original one. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, and I think we'll see people start to do that. And plus, if you pick up the original one, there's loads of files about for Mando armor. And there's a guy who was selling
do it,
yeah, and he was selling the STL files for about. Thing is, they were a bit expensive. They were $100,
right?
But you could scale them to 1/12 and 1/6, and the important thing about that is the thickness. So as long as you can get the thickness on them right, so they don't print and they're too thin. To be fair, you could have. You could have both versions. You just get someone to print you the bits you need. But yeah, I'm the same as you. I'm looking at my collection now, thinking, right, what can I get rid of to get more Mando bits and more?
Yeah, so I think I just want him, and it would be very much a standalone. And I think it would just be one that I just kind of had on the desk and just played it, just as not even with the other Star Wars stuff because it wouldn't really fit. But it just looks like just a really quality figure.
You see, for me, if you could get this is almost the perfect companion piece to the Mandalorian from the first couple of episodes.
Yeah.
I just fantastic. Really like this. I'm really tempted. I mean, the thing is, I've got a few bits that I want to put up for sale. Like I've got my lightsaber that my mate got me from Galaxy's Edge, the Luke one. And the idea was to sell that and try and get a Dooku. But I'm looking at it going, if I sell that, I could probably get a Mando. And I've got a sideshow statue of Batman on horseback.
Oh, yeah.
And it just sits on my windowsill. I barely even dust it, to be fair. I need to clean it up and see if I can get rid of that.
You have to clean it up before you don't want to be one of those people.
No, exactly. Don't want to be a prick. But yeah, so
no.
I've got a few bits that have just been knocking around that I need to sell to get it because I want one.
And obviously we're all seriously hyped now with 3 weeks to go to the start of the new series. So I mean, I think prices for the Mando figure are not going to be going south anytime soon until, as you say, the Beskar one drops, and then and if people want the child and I'm not bothered about that. I just want the figure. Then obviously if they bought the set for the child as well and they don't want both versions, then I'll be there waiting.
Yeah,
PayPal ready.
You're always PayPal ready. You just got a big. You and Steve are terrible. I'm like the poor fucking kid that hangs around with you. Fucking money.
Steve's the pre-order king. He's the pre-order king, and I'm just kind of quite just random sometimes. I just go, you know what? I've got a bit of money in the PayPal. I'll get that, and if I don't like it, I can move it on. It's quite,
Problem is, I've always used my collection to fund my collection. So I've always just had bits that I would just move on and sell and get other bits for. But I've got to the point where actually I quite like my collection. So I've done stuff like the Guyver. How many times have I said on this show, I'm going to sell the Guyver and get something else? I get the fucker down, take photos of it, and I go, I can't get rid of it. It's just too cool. It just doesn't blend in with anything I've got. Nothing at all. I've got two indies. I'm thinking I want to keep the one with the iris clothing and all of that, and I've got this other one, and I'm like, well, I could just sell that, but I've beat the shit out of the jacket. Like, I could just get rid of the sculpts, which I might do actually. I might just try and get rid of the smiling sculpts because I could probably get a decent amount for that, and that could probably end up buying me a full figure. Or at least part way to one with the prices of things now.
I think, as you said before, it's probably the strongest likeness, but it's very scene specific. I mean, I've got mine, and I bought mine specifically to have the Raiders poster with the whip hunt and everything. So it's perfect for that. But as you say, it's difficult to have it as your only sculpt. If for it. You need a more sturdy face, really.
I'm not even sure how much they go for anymore. Last time I saw one on the smiling sculpt. Last time I saw one painted on eBay, it was like 150 quid. But that was a while ago, so I'm not even sure.
I'd say that's probably fairly accurate. Painted.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I'd say that's a fair price. Yeah. Because you've got to factor. I mean, most people, you're factoring in at least 50 quid for a paint, anywhere between 50 and people charge 300 quid. So actually, I think that 150 is a fairly reasonable ask. I think for that, and it's a damn good sculpt. So
yeah. I think I've got to have a proper think this weekend and look at my collection and go, okay, I want a Mandalorian. I want a Dooku. What have I got? What can I afford to let go of? What have I got that's just cool but doesn't quite fit in? And try and sell a few bits. I mean, my Marvel stuff that's sitting down here, I look at that constantly and go, do I really want a War Machine? Do I really want an Iron Man Mark 42? And then I just think the only one I really, really want is my Deadpool and my Thanos. But then that's a whole cube just with those two. And I think, well, that's a lot of wasted space. And maybe I can get rid of Thanos. Then I think if I get rid of Thanos, I'm going to want Thanos again because he's really the only MCU character that I really like.
He's cool. Yeah.
And it's just fucking first world problems, mate. First world problems.
Yeah. I'm going to make a very strange request here. I haven't done it before, but I really, really need to visit the little boy's room. So I'm going to leave you for a minute. You can carry on if you like.
You go and have a tinkle.
I'll break it on the.
And what I can do is I will show everyone our new little video because I don't think there was anyone actually watching the first time.
Perfect. I should be back very shortly.
Yeah. So we've come up with a new little warning in our show because we've been accused of being potty mouths, which is bizarre because we are not potty mouths. We do not swear much. While Pete's having a piss.
You are about to listen to Only Fools and Collecting, a podcast for those who like a good moan about figure collecting and don't mind naughty words.
There we go. How was that? That took me all but 5 minutes to edit. So while Pete's having a piss, we might as well talk about our illustrious sponsor, Mr. Watto. So we'd like to take this opportunity yet again to thank him for sponsoring not just us, but the whole Collecting Weekly network. He supports us all. I mean, he knocks out some really, really good sculpts. Like I said, he sent me through a box with probably about 20, 25 sculpts in, and they're amazing. So there's some in there for other people. There's some for us. There's some that I'm doing for Sean. They are fantastic. Particularly his animated stuff can't fault it. It's fantastic. And again, if you want anything designed and printed, he's your man. There's no aggro with it whatsoever. He's done me a few bits, and I was amazed how quickly it came through. Really good. Well worth it. Watto's is your man. Here you go. Did you, Mark asked, told you to wash your hands? I hope you have.
I did wash my hands, yes.
It's probably always better that that if you need to have a piss, that you do it instead of just wetting yourself in the middle of the program.
I think so, to be honest, and it's one of the joys of getting older is you can't hold it as long.
A tiny.
I managed 26 shows without having to go for a wee break. But
Black Series ought to make a Watto figure after the Jar Jar one. Yeah, I'd probably prefer to see Watto than Jar Jar, if I'm honest. But to be fair, again, and I keep banging on about 3D printing because it's my new fun thing I like to do. But I did find a file for a Watto, which would be kind of good to do.
That would be cool. Yeah, he's quite a cool character. Like him,
Yeah. So TV, film, and games. So this popped up the other day. Christian Bale's in talks to come back as Bruce Wayne in the new Justice League film, which is actually, I think, the new Flash film, not the Justice League film. Which would make sense. Yeah, I think they're trying to get anyone and everyone who's ever played a Batman to be in it. To be fair, I can't imagine he'd be in it for that long.
I don't think we bothered about having the other two, are we? Kilmer and Clooney. They can.
Well, Batnips. Well, technically, the problem is they're meant to be playing the same Batman. So Clooney and Clooney, Kilmer, and Keaton are all meant to be the same Batman.
Yeah.
So technically, I suppose if you have Keaton, you kind of tick those boxes for that universe.
Yeah. So that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah, it will be about 10 years since the last Bell movie. Yeah, and I think his last film he did, he piled it on a bit. So he's not perhaps going to be in the tip top physical shape he was when he was playing Batman.
No,
but I don't mind them exploring the multiverse as long as it doesn't get ridiculous.
Yeah.
But yeah, because I think, we'll talk about it in a bit, but in fact, the next one, actually, while we're on about multiverses, we might as well talk about the Spider multiverse that they're trying to do, the Spideyverse. So there's quite a lot of Spider-Man bits and pieces this week. So apparently Jamie Foxx has signed up he's signing up to reprise his role as Electro. But he's already said that he won't be blue in this one. And then there's rumours going around that Andy Garfield and Tobey Maguire are also in talks. I think they're looking at exploring the whole Spideyverse like they did in the Sony animated film.
Yeah.
And I think they've probably also looked at what DC are doing with the multiverse and sort of thinking, well, we've got our own version of that. Why don't we fucking take advantage of it? Either way, I think it's good. I think the new Spider-Man film will be fantastic if it has all these people in. I'm very much looking forward to it. I think there's plenty they can do. Oh, big time. If you think about it, Hot Toys have made figures of all of these. Yeah. Yep, you got the Rami suit, you've got the Garfield one again. Yeah, I think that if we get all three, it would be really good. I think it would be really, really good. So yeah, and then the last bit of oh yes, nice one, Craig. We did have that on the show sheet. And just before we came on, it was announced that Bendy Cumberbatch has joined Spider-Man 3. So that just
okay. As obviously
Doctor Strange. So that what people are saying is that's confirming the Spideyverse multiverse type thing, because obviously it ties in with WandaVision and all that as well. Has Maguire starred in the movie since Spider-Man 3? I think he has. I'd hope so. Otherwise, they just found him living under a bridge somewhere. But yeah, go on, Pete.
Look on IMDb. I was going to just say, I find the Jamie Foxx thing weird because I didn't think that anybody was particularly a fan of that character. And obviously, as far as the Hot Toys figure, that was a complete. Those were swapping hands for £100. So it's interesting that the kind of where they've got to a point where he's back in the, because Jamie Foxx is fantastic. Don't get me wrong, he's a great actor. But I didn't particularly enjoy his Electro.
It makes me think. because he's already said, "Don't worry, I'm not going to be blue in this one." It makes me think he's still playing Electro, but not that version of Electro. He must be playing a different version.
Rebooting the character.
Well, I mean, his character, I think he died. So I'm guessing he's going to end up playing like the Electro from, like the Far From Home universe, the current Marvel Cinematic Universe, which will be completely different. And then just that comment just jumped out at me and made me stop dead in my tracks. Please bring back stereotypical crazy Russian rhino. Yes, they fucking should, because that would be brilliant.
Yeah. He deserves more screen time, definitely.
Yeah, big time. Or crackpot Harry.
Just looking at Tobey Maguire, since Spider-Man 3, he had a uncredited cameo in Tropic Thunder. He did some other films I've not heard of. He apparently had a small role in The Great Gatsby. And he was a voice in The Boss Baby. And that was in 2017. So he hasn't done a film for 3 years.
Wow.
So he's kind of gone a bit...
I must admit, I didn't realise he was in Tropic Thunder.
Yeah, it just says Tropic Thunder, Tobey Maguire, uncredited. I don't remember seeing him in it, but...
no, me neither.
But yeah, so really, if you look at it, Spider-Man 3 is the last thing where he kind of was, the leading kind of role in anything.
Yeah.
And that's 2007.
Wow.
So yeah, it's odd, isn't it?
Yeah, no wonder he's jumping at this. Well, he should be.
Yeah.
And then obviously still on the Spider-Man train, we have the PS5 version of Spider-Man. Now, what they've done is apparently, now according to Insomniac, they've said that they were having difficulty matching the upgraded face to the voice actor and motion actor, which is the guy on the bottom of the screen, right? So what they did was said, well, we'll just use him. So they used the voice actor and physical actor's appearance. He happens to look quite a lot like Tom Holland in a way, but that's their reasoning for it. I'm not quite sure why they couldn't upgrade the original character model. They've done it for all the other characters and it seemed fine. Because to me, it's just the thing is with this that I don't understand is it's now made him look really, really young. So where he's meant to be an older, grizzled kind of, not grizzled, but an older Spider-Man who's been through a fair bit. He's established. He's in his career. He's living his life. He's away fighting bad guys and all that type of shit. Fantastic. This now they've matched it to the voice actor. He looks about 12. So when he's meant to be mentoring Miles Morales and stuff like that, it's like, but you look younger than him. Mary Jane now looks like a paedophile because she looks way older than the child Spider-Man we've got. So it's like, well, so effectively when he's going to be trying to win Mary Jane back, it's going to be very much like she's grooming him. It's just weird. I don't think I like it. It's not going to stop me from playing the game, but I just think it really pulls you out of it and I don't understand it. I don't get it. Here you go. No. 26-16 and the aging gone wrong. Yeah, completely agree.
Definitely.
Just not a clever move, and I think there's a fair amount of bullshit that we're getting fed, blaming technical issues and just don't bite myself.
And it doesn't look as good. I mean, if that's meant to be PS5 at the bottom, I guess it's not fully properly rendered and shadows and stuff, but it looks crap compared to the top one as well. Yeah,
I mean that's what I thought. I thought exactly the same thing. The top one looks way better than the bottom one, and I'm thinking, if you just showed me those two photos and went, which one's PS5 and which one's PS4,
you'd say the top one's PS5, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Just
made any sense, is it?
Yeah, no, we've been given some bullshit there. But yeah, so there was quite a lot of Spider-Man stuff. And then old Daniel Son himself posted.
Yeah.
Oh, so happy about this. So Danielson has confirmed that Cobra Kai is coming back for Series 3 and dropped a trailer, a really, really cool trailer, and has also at the same time confirmed that there will be a Series 4. Amazing. I'm so happy that they're carrying this on. I think it coming onto Netflix has done it a world of good because so many more people have picked up on it. So yeah, I'm like I said on I think last week's or the one before. I'm loving Cobra Kai. I think it's fantastic, and now we get 2 more series. I'm happy as pig and shit. I just hope we don't have to wait forever, because I suppose the problem with this is because it's karate, they're going to be fairly close to each other. They're going to be punching each other. They're going to be kicking each other.
Yeah,
and
how they can do that.
So it's not going to be like programs you see that have been shot where they've clearly got like a dummy in the way, or the shots are weird because they're not in the same room or they're fucking miles apart. Yeah. Really,
it's a good point. I didn't think of that. And no, but it's a great series, and I mean, I'm new to it as when it's been come on Netflix, and I absolutely love it. I was saying to you, I kind of like I was binge watching kind of 4 or 5 episodes at once because it just hooks you in. You want to see the next one, and it's really, really good.
Yeah, so we only got to wait till January, which is quite handy. Yep.
Yeah, that's going to come around quick enough.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. And then we had a bit of news in the UK that Cineworld. So over in the UK, Cineworld are kind of like the main cinema chain over here. They're shutting all 543 of its cinemas, and they're known as Regal in the US, and they're also going to be shutting some of theirs as well.
Second biggest chain in the US, I think.
Yeah. So they've effectively blamed a lot of this. Huge. I mean, they've effectively blamed this on the fact that all the movie studios are putting all their films back. So there won't be any brand spanking new releases for a while. And at the moment, they're selling tickets for about £4 a pop to see like fucking films, like old films. And people just aren't going. On the like we said the other week, I feel sorry for anyone who works there, because obviously it's not fun being made redundant and having to lose your job. I've been through that myself, and it is shit. Really, really shit. But cinemas have been a dying breed for quite some time, and it doesn't surprise me why they can't survive in a COVID world. It just because I don't personally, I couldn't give a shit if you have to sit in a cinema and wear a mask. It doesn't bother me. But there's just nothing I want to go watch at all.
No. Well, there isn't, and they're all living off. And obviously, Tenet was really the only big film that launched. And I read yesterday that it's only taken about 300 million worldwide, and that's still 200 shy of it breaking even. And for what I hear, it's a fantastic film, but it's just the fact that it's a real indication that people are just not going to the cinema, even if it's something they really want to see. They'll be like, do you know what? Actually, I can wait the 3 months and pick it up. And to be honest, I really want to see Tenet, but I've been like, do I want to go to the cinema? No, I'm not bothered. And obviously, the Bond it was meant to be November, but they've kind of obviously realised that even with things currently as they are, if that's the financial position that Tenet has been put in, then it's potentially a massive loss of revenue for is it MGM that have Bond. So they've skipped, they've taken it off of the November schedule, and it's now April, so it'd be a year late. And then we've got there was some news a couple of days ago that Wonder Woman may go straight to streaming.
25th of December apparently.
They're going to stick with the Christmas Day one. So I heard bits and pieces, but none of it was like from any like reliable sources, so I was a bit kind of hesitant to put it on the show sheet, because I was like, well, so I mean, because a lot of the things I was seeing was companies have kind of looked at VOD and gone, well,
Mulan didn't do that great. And I'm thinking, well, don't fucking use Mulan as your example, because no fucker wants to watch that in the first place. If that was out in the cinema, no one would have gone.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. It's not a good example. I think, I was chatting to my mate last night, and I said, if he came over, we'd pay 20 quid, which was to watch Wonder Woman, because it would cost us that in the cinema. But Mulan, I couldn't give a shit. I'll watch it when it's free on the 4th of December, but I wouldn't pay for it. So yeah, that's really not a good model. No. I personally, I don't really, as you say, you feel sorry for the people that work in the industry, and obviously, if it all goes the way it's looking, there's going to be people out of jobs. But personally, from my point of view, I'm quite happy to sit and watch them at home.
Yeah, me too. I'd much prefer that.
Yeah,
much prefer it.
So Wonder Woman would be kind of, I think the first big real test. I don't know who they're going to use to stream it on, because it's Warner Brothers, isn't it? It's DC, and obviously they don't have their own platform, so it would probably most likely be via HBO Sky, I guess, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I mean, do they not have their own platform? They used to have like their video to disc stuff.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how they do it. I mean, they don't have to do it via one of the existing. They could just do it.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if they just chuck it on Prime.
Yeah,
because that's what they did with like Trolls World Tour, and like you say, it popped up on Sky and that as well. So it wouldn't surprise me. If
it doesn't matter where it is, really. Yeah.
No, I suppose if they're just going to release a digital version of it and that's it, and you just pay, and that will be it for forevermore, then they just probably release it as a normal channel.
So you could just have a link that you can just download it to your PC, stick it on a hard disk, and stick it into your TV, and that's how you watch it. So it doesn't need to go by one of the.
No. So Edson says HBO Max. So yep, that'd be good for you lot in the States. They do that, but over here we don't have that, so it will probably be Sky, I'd imagine. But
and it is a tragedy, and I think ABC, I think they the biggest chain in the US, said that if things don't pick up in 6 months, then they'll close permanently, and that'll kind of be possibly the end of cinemas as we know them. Yeah, dark times.
Yeah, it's shit, but still, at least we've got this to cheer you up, because you like Lord of the Rings.
Well, I thought I'd stick this in. I saw it, came across it today. So this is the 4K disc releases of the Lord of the Rings trilogy and the Hobbit trilogy coming out. States is 1st of December. These here, I really like these. These are the Best Buy exclusive steelbooks, and I don't know if anywhere in kind of Europe's going to be doing, because sometimes Amazon have like the same things as Best Buy in the UK. So I'm kind of thinking, well, I need to keep a lookout and see if anybody kind of picks this setup in the UK. If not, I might be asking one of our CW friends to go down to Best Buy and pick them up for me, and I'll pay them shipped over, because they look really nice. And I'm a massive fan of the Lord of the Rings trilogy, and Hobbit not so much, but I think I would pick these up. They're going to look fantastic. I mean, the Hobbit was shot in 5K, so that's going to be natively very impressive. Lord of the Rings is a new 4K digital master from the negatives. I think the VFX will maybe possibly not hold up so well, because they even look a little bit dated, some of them on the Blu-ray. So I don't think, but I'm definitely going to be picking these up. And as I say, if they don't announce a kind of a UK version of these, then I might be trying to get someone to pick them up for me, because they look really nice.
Cool.
and that's kind of like, you know, I'm ticking off the trilogies because Star Wars is now on 4K. Back to the Future's out in a couple of weeks on 4K.
Yeah, see,
Lord of the Rings.
Jump at Back to the Future.
Yeah, yeah. And then obviously then it's really just indie, and that's kind of like the four big franchises, you know, that I'd say. But indie was very late to hit Blu-ray, so it's probably going to be a similar story for 4K.
Yeah, it took ages for the indies.
It did, yeah.
Anything to do with Lucas takes forever.
Yeah, although Star Wars, they're actually kind of quite. I think, you know,
this,
the Disney
this time
Plus,
they have, but typically
they have
always.
Typically they've been awful.
Yeah,
they're always like, oh, we're just going to sit and see how this format gets on. We're not sure if it's going to be, you know, the one to go with.
Even like 4 years
wait.
after it's been about.
Yeah. No, we had to wait bloody forever for the DVDs and the Blu-rays. But this
I think
time
you've jumped out of full screen there, Pete.
Have I?
Yeah.
Yeah. There we go. Sorry.
There we go.
So I mean, indie would be an indie announcement would be fantastic. That would make me very happy. But yeah, these are we picking up for Christmas, I think. If anybody wants to buy
indie
me,
and Back to the Future for me will do.
Yeah,
and I'll be happy.
Definitely. Yeah, the Back to the Futures. I hope that they look good. I don't know too much about them technically. I assume they're you know, new 4K masters and stuff. So, but yeah, there's a nice steelbook set on Zabi that I've got on pre-order.
Yeah, no, that'd be good.
Yeah,
it would be good.
Right, well,
cool.
Okay, so we'll
Custom corner. Yeah, so I don't know if I've mentioned, but I've got a printer now.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
So I've been spending
one.
Yeah, I've kept it really quiet. I've been spending the last couple of weeks pretty much printing anything and everything, just to try and get used to it and figure out the best settings and what I've got to do and what I haven't got to do. And my wash and cure machine turned up, which mate, it saves so much time and effort. That thing, clean up now just takes half the time. It's really honestly the best. If you ever get a 3D printer, wash and cure machine goes with it. It's so good. But I spent my first couple of weeks printing a few little bits and pieces for my boy, like a few Pokemon bits, just to get used to, just to get used to it really, the orientation and all that kind of stuff. And then Zach, I did him a little, was it not The Last of Us? That little game everyone keeps playing, Among Us. That's it. So he got a little dude, and then we had the Sean Dab sculpts, so I printed a couple of them, trying to figure out sizing and stuff, and I ended up doing a fucking way too big one, but it came out really well detailed. Well, no, I've stuck it up on the shelf because it's too cool of a sculpt to do anything else with.
It's really cool,
Yeah, and it's about twice the size of a 6-scale sculpt, but it's just slightly too small for quarter scale and way too big for 6-scale. Yeah. So I thought, well, all the details there, it's captured it really well. I'm just going to paint it up and I'll stick it on my shelf and it'd just be something I keep.
Yeah.
And then I bought a Vader model, so a whole Empire Vader file full.
Right, the whole suit.
Yes, it's the whole suit, all the boxes. It's a whole Vader model on the Bespin sort of gantry. So I thought, well, I like that. And then it came with a free unmasked file. So I thought, well, I like that even more. So I literally, at the moment, I've just printed the unmasked sculpt and painted that up to put on my Vader. And then what I want to do is downscale the stand that it comes with. And then I'm going to have that as my Vader stand because the Hot Toys one is way too big. But what I can do is scale this down to the size of a normal stand. So I'm going to give that a go. I've got loads of different bits and pieces I want to try. I found an indie sculpt I want to print. And then I printed out. So part of that unmasked sculpt came with these weird little bust things, right? So that are like Vader's armor. And what I thought was, well, I've got the Rebels helmet. I've got the unmasked sculpt, and I've got the normal helmet, and they all just line up on the side. And I thought, actually, if I print some of these up, spray them black, give them a quick paint job, I can try and fit a ball joint into the top, and then I've got somewhere to display my helmets. So I thought that was quite handy. But I've been hunting for files high and low, and having printed stuff out, just having a play around. And I work from home on a Tuesday, so on a Tuesday I've got stuff printing, and then if I'm in all the weekend, it's printing pretty much from the moment I get up to the moment I go to bed. Because it does take a while. Like, I can see why Sean has 4,000 printers, because it really does take a while.
Actually, with the kind of amount of content you managed to churn out in the couple of weeks that you've had this printer. Quite prolific.
I mean, so like I say, if I'm at home, it's on from about 7 o'clock in the morning till about 7 o'clock at night. So most of the small stuff, like the Pokemon and the Among Us one, and that don't take very long, because I can get a lot of those on the print plate. And if I up the print layers to like 1/10 of a millimeter, it prints within about 3 hours, so I can get quite a lot off of that. If I'm doing like a head sculpt, I then print them at 0.3 of a millimeter layer depth, so that will take. So the Vader took. Now, what you can do to save time is hollow them out. Then you've got to make sure that you put supports and drain holes and all that kind of stuff in. So when I did that with the Vader took 5 hours. So the Joker at 6 scale, so I try and put 2 of those on the plate to make it worth doing, takes about 7 hours. So I've got some files set up ready to print for the weekend with another Vader and an Indian stuff, and that's going to take all day to print those 2. Probably about 6 hours a piece. And then I've got to try and work out other bits and pieces that I want to do. And the thing is, a lot of it isn't just so much getting the files; it's being able to try and edit them. So you know, like taking a neck off of something or making something a bit thicker, and the software for that Blender, I've downloaded it and it's fucking complicated. So I almost need to just shut myself away and just concentrate and look at that. But at the same time, I've also got loads of stuff to paint as well, so I've been working my way through that. So these 2 sculpts.
How is the other?
Go on.
I was just going to ask you, how does the other stuff look like on the Vader file in terms of the mask and the helmet and stuff? Does it look
really good?
Because we're always looking for the more accurate versions of that. I'd be interested to see whether, how they.
What I wanted to do was print one off and run it past our resident expert Zach. But I think it's pretty good, and comes in a couple of parts. So because I was tempted again to print one, so I've got Vader so he can hold the mask. The chin and the bit obviously above the chin all prints as one file. So I have to find a way to cut that bit off so I can do what I want to do with it. But because I like, so the actual Vader model, the gloves look good, the belt boxes will all look good, the chest plate looked good, the shoulder pads were also a separate thing. So because what I wanted to do was measure the shoulder pads and the bells and stick those on my Hot Toys one, because I think the Empire one that we have, that shoulder section is way too big. It just doesn't sit right. So I was going to look at that and try and print that. And I've been raiding. I've been raiding a few sites for different files to see if there's different.
Yeah, I'll be interested because I've got the original A New Hope Vader at the moment.
Yeah,
but I've got the reissue of the Empire one order. You know, in the vintage style packaging, which I think it's gone very quiet on that. I think probably be looking at next year now, but I'd be interested to see how those turn out. I'd be up for a few of the replacement bits and pieces for mine if they turn out well.
Yeah, like because I know when I got the Empire one, I swapped the belt out for the sideshell one. I swapped the chest panel out for the sideshow version as well, because to me that chest panel was on the stock Empire one was just massive, way too big. So I swapped that out, and in fact I had to get a New Hope leather waist area bit for it because it's sewn in on the Empire one. Just a bit of a pain in the ass.
Right,
but there's.
And also, you had to mod the tusks, didn't you? Because they've got a funny angle on them, I think. And
so I never did. I sold that entire head.
Dave did.
No.
Okay.
So I sold that entire head
custom head
off. Yeah, I got the black. The titanium. So I got the titanium dome so the dome. Yeah, the dome's titanium, and the head itself is the Kayaboto. Which is the model kit that's quite hard to get hold of. Zach sent it over, so I repainted all of that, and I think that looks pretty good. But it'd be interesting to see how good this other one is, and if we can get it scaled right.
If it turns out right and it passes the expert's eye, then I'd definitely be up for one or two of those, mate, from you.
Yeah, because when it sees the bottom of Vader's mask there. Those little, so the tusks were printed separately, and I had to glue those on, which was a pain in the ass of 6 scale. And his little breathing things, those bits at the end, were also separate. I had to print those on.
Right, okay.
And the mesh piece that sits under his chin, also separate. I had to glue that on. Because obviously it's designed to be quarter scale or a third of the scale, so you quite big bits when you're at that kind of scale. But so I'm loving the 3D printing at the moment. And then I've made a start on the first load of Patreon sculpts that were sent through. So Danny Lee's Superman and Punisher. I've done those, and they've been posted on the way back to him. So I've got a few more Patreon ones to do, and a shelf full of commissions I'm working my way through now. So I'm hoping to get a few more of them knocked out at the weekend. And then
I had Superman, like an Alex Ross.
Yes,
style.
yeah. So so the top one's like a Kingdom Come Alex Ross. That's Tony May, Maykay.
Yeah.
So he did both of those, and I genuinely really enjoy painting his stuff. His comic book stuff is fantastic. Like the Punisher, the Punisher at the bottom, I really liked. They're just a joy to paint. They're so well sculpted.
Are they a little bit smaller than the standard 1/6? Because I think they work with they're a bit smaller, so you get those like comic book proportions with the bodies, aren't they?
Yeah, that's exactly right. They're always just a tad smaller. So when you stick them on the bodies, their bodies look really beefy.
Yeah, I've looked at these Superman ones and been tempted.
Yeah, I've painted so many of them, but never had one for myself. So it's definitely on my list of things. Cool. So they're the first two, and then I've got a fair few more.
He's like a Among Us print also.
I'm sure I could do that. I said I'd do Zach another couple as well. And then I had this wonderful pile of treats turn up from Mr. Sean, Mr. Watto, and I think you can just see there that little, I don't know why I'm circling it with a mouse, none of you fuckers can see, but you can see there on the left the Clone Wars Obi-Wan looks spot on, and there's a load of Rexes at the front.
So who's the one that's 2 behind the Obi-Wan? Is that another Obi-Wan? He's like a bearded
It's another
guy.
Obi-Wan. That's another Obi-Wan from Rebels. So when he fights and kills Darth Maul, that's him. So and that is like Shrink Ray. Well, it's like all the animated ones. It's like he's just ripped them off the screen.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm super impressed. I've been busy, and I'm still really busy. So I think with the lot that Sean sent me and the lot I've got on the side to paint, I've probably got about 40 sculpts to knock my way through. I'm looking forward to it. And beyond that, I think there's so much. But I'm looking forward to it. And as I said to Dean the other day, like what typically happens with me is people will contact me, show me a load of photos, and I go, yep, I can do that. It will be like £50 plus postage, not a problem. Here's my address, send it along. And they go, yeah, no worries, I'll send it along. I'll let you know when it's gone. They don't. If I have 10 people contact me, probably about 5 people will actually send them on. In this instance, everyone that has said they've wanted to send stuff has sent stuff. So I've now got a massive amount to work my way through, but I can't complain. So does anyone do a good Padme head? Sean Dabbs does. And also, I'm pretty sure if you tuck up our boy Watto, he could probably knock you out one.
Who's the one on the side with the ponytail? That's mine.
That is
Marion
one.
Raven.
So there's 3 on the side with the ponytail.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
the one in the middle,
the one
Marion.
Yeah. Who's the other one?
And the other 2 is what's her face from Solo? I've forgotten her name again.
Oh yeah, she
we
said
spoke about it before.
Well, Amelia Clark. I can't think of the character.
Yeah, that's
name,
it. I can't remember her name in it.
And
there's also one of the newer Ahsokas sitting there, which I'm really looking forward to painting. It looks really, really good. But yeah, so there's so much there that he's done.
That's cool. I think I like about you, Ian. I don't know whether other painters have got the same viewpoint, because I don't speak to them on the same. I speak to Mark Simpson, but not, like we talk about stuff. Is the fact that you love printing, you love the painting, like you're doing it. Some of them are commissions, you've been paid for it, but I just love your enthusiasm. You're like, actually, I'm like really excited about painting these ones you've not done before and stuff like that.
I mean, the only reason I offer commissions is it helps me stay in the hobby, and I can't possibly buy everything myself to paint. For me, I get more enjoyment out of painting stuff and making stuff and doing that side of the hobby than I do just buying something buying something, getting out of a box, sticking it in the display. So for me, a big part of it is the painting, and like I said, I can't paint everything. I don't have the money to buy loads of sculpts and loads of custom sculpts and that. So if someone doesn't mind, helping me stay in the hobby and helping me, get a bit more painting practice in, then fine. And that's why, like, I don't, I think price wise, I'm probably about on average for what most people in the UK charge, but I don't really do it to make stupid money, because I don't have the bollocks to charge like hundreds of pounds, because I'm nowhere near that kind of level. But I just enjoy it. It's just fun, And don't get me wrong, I get some stuff that people send in and it's not fun to paint. They're not great things that they're sending me to do, but it's all practice. And like I say, it's just a case of hitting stuff, and every day's a school day, particularly with painting. Like, you try different things and some stuff sticks, some stuff doesn't.
And I've sort of seen, followed your work, seen your work for 5-6 years probably now. I mean, and you definitely come on like massively.
When I look, so I put pretty much everything I do, but back before I discovered Instagram, everything I did, I'd put on my Facebook page and I put it in a folder, just as my paintwork. And then what Facebook Memories does, it goes, here's something from like 7 years ago. And I think it popped up. And I remember, because we just moved into our first house, and I used to have a little table like I have for podcasting that I had, that I would set up in front of the telly, and I would just have like a side lamp on. So I was practically painting in the fucking dark. And I remember the pictures like got a Temple of Doom indie standing on the table. Looked shit, and I remember being so fucking proud of it. And I was painting an Indigo V1, right? And fuck me, it was awful, fucking terrible. But I was getting compliments on it, and people seemed to like it, and I liked it. And I looked at some of the stuff, then I started, swiping through like you do. And fuck me, some of the stuff that I did like 7 years ago, I was like, that's fucking awful.
Yeah.
Like it was like I'd never heard of thinning paint, and like it just,
Yeah,
and my
but
trick
you just
then
learn...
was to really lower the darkness on stuff, so you really couldn't see it. Yeah, it wasn't great. I mean, I've still got
my new sculpt by candlelight.
yeah, exactly. Like that. Like obviously, there was a guy who, in fact, it was the same guy who was trying to sell all the knockoff scopes at like 30-40 quid. He's popped up on a few groups, and he started painting stuff, and he seems quite good, but he does like that trick where he lowers the lighting really down to practically nothing, but he takes it to a whole new level. Like he's practically like, I'll just flick all the lights off, and you can't make out what the fuck he's painting. You're like, what?
No.
But yeah, I've still got knocking around here. I had I made an Evil Dead Ash. Couldn't find an Ash sculpt for love nor money, so I was using like a George Clooney sculpt, and you can tell it's fucking George Clooney, and it's just mental, absolutely mental. But I still got that, and I still keep that. So sometimes when I think, yeah, this is a load of shit, I don't know why I bother. Like I'm not that great, or than that. Sometimes I just look at that sculpt and compare it and go, actually, I am improving, but I'll get there in the end.
Definitely. And something like eyes as well as like massively,
If I'm honest, I think I've taken a step back with my eyes.
Really?
Yeah, I think when I look at like Tarkin, and I've got loads of detail in those eyes, they were quite good. And then I look at some of the stuff I've been doing lately, and I'm like, I just can't get it. Eyes are my big bugbear at the moment. I mean, for simple like cartoony stuff, not a problem, because it's like four inlaid circles really, and
subtlety.
You don't need that real level of detail. I find blue eyes are a lot easier. I can fleck at them, not a problem, and they seem to come out way better. But yeah, I think I've taken a step back a bit with eyes. That's my goal for this year, is to get a lot better with eyes. So it's like force of habit as well. I keep putting that little white dot in, and then I put such a high gloss over the top that you don't really need that, because you get the natural light reflection. But just stuff like that. That's what I want to concentrate on this year is eyes.
I think that's definitely something that kind of is one of the things that takes you to the next level, I think, as well. Because I'm in awe of people that can paint really good 1/6 scale eyes, because it's just like, fuck me,
like I found it so much easier on that massive fucking Joker head, because it was so big. Like you could really put the detail in there without really needing to worry too much. But I bought myself a load of new brushes the other day, because I'm quite bad at that. I literally use brushes until they're dead.
And he's put good thing. Punisher and Superman have blue eyes. Lol.
To be honest, mate, even if they were green, I think I would have done them blue. Like I'm quite bad with brushes. I'll keep them going until they're like Hitler's tash on a stick. There's nothing to them. So I was quite proud of myself. Actually, took the splashdown, bought some new ones. But so it's been busy on the custom front. It has been busy, but I'm enjoying it, and I'm liking the fact that people are trusting me with their stuff, which is nice. Which is always nice. I'm hoping. After I've done all of this, and I've made a big dent in this, I might start printing some Vader sculpts just to offer within the group to people within collecting weekly if they want them. Obviously, I don't own the file, but I can print them and paint them for people. I think that's allowed. I don't think that's a problem.
No, I'd definitely be interested in an unmasked one.
Cool. But so
right.
Go on. You might as well the car. I massacre people.
I should read these out. So again, I mean, massive thanks to our Patreonies for supporting us financially. Definitely helps us out with the technical equipment and stuff, making us look and sound beautiful. No potato cams here. Well, okay.
Well, maybe mine's pretty potato. Like it's been on the.
Been on this as well. It's you and Dame are vying for the.
We're rocking. We're rocking
but
the
at least
potato
you can manage, more than 10 minutes of a show without disappearing altogether and not managing to return, having to be bailed out.
I'll tell you what I have got. What I have bought. I bought some new headphones because look at this. Right, my boy went, "Oh, sorry, Dad, I broke your headphones." Look, seen that?
How big is his head?
Oh fuck! Well, I've just fucked them a bit more. Look, they bow in the middle. Because what he's
waiting for the new headphones to come, have you? Are you?
I ordered them just at the start of the show, so they should turn up tomorrow. Because I must admit, I knew he'd broken them, but I didn't realise to the extent they were broken. Because when he takes them off, he goes like that and takes them off. He doesn't slide them off.
Oh yeah.
So he went, and he's a child, so he's got quite a small head. So he's gone crunch and gone, "Uh-oh, Daddy." I'm like, for fuck's sake, give him it. Okay, because they've got that padding. It's kind of held together by the padding. So I'm going to.
So you ordered him his own pair of headphones as well, so he's not using yours.
These. He can have these. He can have the broken pair, and I'll have the new pair.
If you've got any duct tape, that'll sort that right out.
Well, what I was going to do was get something to put across the top and just glue it, so it bridged that, and then because he only uses it for like YouTube and bloody Pokemon.
Yeah. So okay, cool. Yes, and obviously, we try and return the favour by sending out some cool merch and bits and pieces. So if I run through, so we have Ben Porter, Griffin Campbell, Sean Fear, Ian Seaby, Rene Mendez, Eric Mariscal, Quinn Aguirre, Leo Hernandez, King Louis, Dan Lee, Deanie Martin, Stephen Crett, Jason Nelson, Big Fern, King Zachary V, Caesar Maraquin, Eric Ruiz, Mario Cortez, Stephen Percher, Sean Yahtzee, Scott Bradley, Jesse Contreras, and Stephen Maria Stanley. Thank you all.
Yeah, thank you very, very much.
So if you want to quickly run through, if you're not a Patreon subscriber and you fancy joining that select band of people, we've got 2 tiers, $5 a month, gets you a sticker sent straight to your door. So that's monthly different stickers. We've got the new ones for this month on the next slide. The OFAC one has been pushed back to November, but obviously you're all very much looking forward to that one. And then the crispy tier, which is $15 a month. I don't know what these dollars are.
Funny, man.
You get an official certified certificate. Yep. Signed by Dean and Zach. Ian will paint you a head sculpt, one per year. And obviously, we've just been talking about that, and he's just done his first couple of ones for that. Zach will fix a figure for you. Probably best for you guys in the States rather than UK, because it'll cost you a bloody fortune to send it and get it sent back. But if you fancy getting on that, we'd be very grateful for you.
If you are in the UK, drop us a message, and that might be something that we could help you with over here.
Yeah,
save you a bit of postage.
We've fixed a few bits and pieces over the years, so definitely.
I've been known to
help out your
figure apart.
You have, yeah. Or cut the tits off a feisty body, and
yep, I can do that for anyone, not a problem. In fact, so I finally found a use for the Python bag of dicks.
Oh, really?
So, yep. So Danny's sculpts are going on a Python body, and when he said about it, I said, "Not a problem. I've got a Python body. I'll match it to that." I forgot all about that and sold the Python body, and I was like, "Oh fuck!" Because the only other ones I've got are slightly different coloured, and one of them I've weathered, so there's no point trying to match it to that. And I was like, "Oh fuck!" And I thought, I know what I've got. I've got the Python bag of dicks. So I was literally like holding this little cock up to then the head going. Yeah, look, that neck will match in with that perfectly. So yeah, I found a use for them. I matched the heads to a bag of dicks.
And then have you ever shown them to the missus?
No. Although
what was she walked in on that.
Oh no, I did actually. I said, look at this. These come with dicks. She's like, why? I said, because it's a certain niche of Python collectors that are just.
I think I've been too scared to show that to mine because she'd be just like, "Oh, that's sick." Like,
do you know what I did accidentally discover as well? So I was mixing up some. So for Danny's? No, so that Vader I was doing, I mixed up some clear. Because the varnish I use that's super shiny for eyes and stuff is the Tamula. It's quite thick though, so if you do it for eyes, it's fine because you can just normally do that in one stroke.
It's a small area.
Yeah, but when you're looking at the armor, I had to water it down. So, but I used their thinners, done that, and then obviously I mixed it up on my cutting board. So I thought, well, that's going to take a little while to dry. So I got a wet cloth, wiped the cutting board all over to get it all up. Just put my hand through my display case. So my cutting board was wet, right? And I just had the bag because I was also doing these scopes. I just had the bag of sticks there, and they landed so the dicks were facing up like that, right? I didn't realise that on the back of them there's a little hole, and they suction cup to the mat. So when I went to pick it up, obviously you pick it up by the bell end and you go like that. The fuck, it was like fucking go gadgets cock. It just went and then pong, fucking pinged off, nearly twatted me in the face. It was like that scene from The Boys.
Exactly. Because Ian had mentioned that in the chat, and I didn't think anything. And then I was watching my mate last night, and I'm like, what is that? Is that a dick? And I was like, oh, it is. It's like back up his trouser leg.
It took me a little bit to clock as well, because I was like, what the fuck is that? And then it's only when you see the end of it, you go, oh, fuck's sake, it's that guy with the massive cock.
Mate.
Oh, it was funny.
Hilarious.
I like The Boys is right up. And I'll tell you, the quote that made me think of this show in there was when the senator comes in and she goes, I've been called a cunt by a lot worse. And then Billy just goes, it's a term of fucking endearment where I come from. And I thought, okay, that's that bit of audio I need to get hold of because that should be in our show. Because that is us, yeah. No Ninja Squirrel bollocks, that is us. So yeah.
I was amused by the old deer calling people cunts.
Yes,
it always makes me laugh when an old woman swears like that.
Oh,
like the one in The Running Man. The old woman, she's like, "Who do you want to win?" She's like, "Richards. He's one mean motherfucker." It's like when old people swear, it's brilliant.
Yeah, that and children.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
So these are the October stickers. So I think the Creeps Are Us on the top left is a vinyl sticker. The Live and Let Dice is a hollow stick, I believe, and the auxiliary one is a magnet. So these will be bumped up because obviously it's October, it's Halloween. So these are be going out to our Patreon members. And then, as I said, the OFAC one will be in November now.
Cool beans. Cool.
And we have the rest of the network. Do you want to take us through those?
Yeah. So we've got they were talking about this the other night with Jesse when he returned. It was so good to have him back. Like I was listening to that bonus episode today. And it took me right back to the very beginning of the network when I used to listen. It was really good to have him back. So we've got Auction, which, like I said, is great for you boys in the States when you do little auctions. That's normally on our on Auxiliary, which is great. And then we got the main show, Collecting Weekly, collecting rarities with Rainer. You had Seth on the other day, and they were talking about trainers and shoes, and I just could not believe. I mean, I won't spend a couple of £100 on a hot toy at this point. And I'm thinking, fuck me, I'm lucky I've got shoes on my feet for the price of the ones they were going on about. Fucking thousands of pounds.
Yeah. I know, that's ridiculous. Yeah.
I mean, it's a really good show. It's worth listening to because they talk about like the weird and wonderful and the bit more obscure side of collecting.
Yeah, I need to catch up on the show. I've not listened to last.
Yeah, it's an eye opener of what's the things some people collect. And then we got Small Talk, where they talk about the smaller things in life. The joy of hobbying. Yep. So Zach does a few videos where he pisses about with a few figures. Only Fools and Collecting, I think it's safe to say the jewel in the crown of the network.
Definitely.
And then Collecting Comics, which again, a really good show, particularly if you're into comics. After Dark, which is an exclusive for the Patreonies, and Creeps Are Us, which is Manny's baby, which is, as the title suggests, rather creepy. And that's it. That's us. That is the empire that we are carving out.
Yeah, if you haven't listened to this week's Collecting Weekly yet, you need to get on that because that made me laugh so hard with Dean.
We just didn't bother watching the film.
It didn't bother watching the film. It made me think of I think a few shows a long time ago when I didn't bother watching any of the trailers, and I thought that was bad. And he just didn't watch the whole film. That was hilarious. I was pissing myself laughing.
I must admit, I listened to it. I listened to it today on the drive in to work, and a bit more while I was at work today. And it was a good show. I like that one.
Really, really, really good show. Yes, that's a good laugh. That definitely.
I mean, we can't hold a candle to them really, but we try. With our dirty potty mouths.
We do. I'm just thinking. I don't think we did. We didn't do another second Watto.
I know I did. While you were having a piss.
You did.
Yeah, I mean, you can big him up some more. It's fine. No one's. I don't think anyone's going to complain.
I don't want to. Oh, that's cool. That's brilliant. No, I just suddenly thought, oh, hang on a minute, we didn't do the mid-show reel. That's great.
Well, we'd have if we didn't do it mid-show, we just have Zach texting us mid-show, going, "Do it now!
We would. We're very frightened of our illustrious leader, and he will call us out on it.
He will do. He plays the nice boy, but he if I hear that if Dean gets out of line, he beats him with bars of soap in socks until he behaves. So
I think so. That's why I had him over that other week.
Well, that was the sound thrashing he's going to give him for not actually watching the video, the film.
Yeah, that boy's going to hurt. But he's Zach's ruthless. He might come across as sweetness and light, and but he's tough on us.
It's a little known fact. He has a ruler, and when you go do a live show with him, if you fuck up, he just twats you with it under the desk until you behave yourself. I mean, we're lucky because we're over here, so he can't physically hurt us, but emotionally he scars us with his cruel words.
He does. I weep regularly.
Yeah, I mean, we don't want to be like this. We don't want to swear. We're good boys, but he makes us do it. He's like
to make himself look like an angel.
Yeah, I mean, he's like some kind of like evil ninja squirrel that will just have us.
Like, guys, you didn't say cunt enough this week.
Yeah. He said I want at least 4 cunts a show, 2 twats and 1 wanker, and it's hard to squeeze that in sometimes. It genuinely is.
It is. But we try our best.
We do.
Some people don't like it, apparently.
But, apparently so. I don't know why. Yeah. It's the naughty words. It offends people. So, but we've addressed that. We put warnings in, and we will warn
some
people.
We've got no passion, but those words are born from passion.
Well, to be fair, I'm a fairly soulless, joyless individual at the best of times, let alone when I'm get a mic thrust in me. So all fun and games. But so in a way, that's enough of us joyously slogging away for 2 hours and 18 minutes of pure venom and bile and and I mean, all I want is more Jedis, if I'm honest. Just that's it. But anyway,
Yeah.
Anyway, enough of that old bollocks. it is a bye from me.
And a bye from me.
Smell you later.